What's up, guys? Malik over at Modern Pond. We've been filleting fish for a while now. My brother and I had 10 flounder last night. We put them on ice and we're filleting them out, so we decided we'd do a little video for you guys to give you a tutorial on how to properly fillet your flounder. If you didn't catch our first two videos, we did an easy method, an intermediate method. We're going to fix to do the advanced method. If you really wanted to descale a fish, what you would do, we found the best way to do it, is use a power washer. You take that fish, you lay him down on the ground, you take a pressure washer, and you would go against the grain of his scales. You would go from the tail to the head, basically, and get at a down sharp angle. It pops those scales right off. Cleans the fish. It does an amazing job without tearing through the skin. You don't have to get that toothy scraper thing and just go and take forever, and the scales flying everywhere, and they're in your hair for 2 weeks, and you stink like fish. Basically, this technique, what we use it for is bigger fish. When we get a big one and I want to feed 6 to 8 people on one fish, this is the technique we do. The fish will have enough meat to make everybody happy, but generally not quite enough volume to feed everybody. So what we do is we go over the top and we stuff them really well. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to show you, if you don't know about the anatomy of a flounder, watch our other two videos, the easy and the intermediate video. This is kind of building up to this technique right here. What you're going to need for this is a couple of things. First of all, you're going to need a big old flounder. The next thing you're going to need is a long, thin filleting knife. This is the ones we prefer, the white-handled, the Santi Preen, or whatever they call the handle, the white-handled Dexter Russell filleting knives. I think this is a 10-inch model. It's the thin, flexible, the narrowest, thinnest, flexible, longest one that they make. The thinner, the more flexible, and the narrower, the more nimble that you're going to be able to control this thing. This is basically an oversized scalpel. That's what this thing is right here. The next thing you're going to need is a good pair of kitchen shears. I have a pair of Cutcos that are at Cutco right now. I just used the crap out of them. They weren't cutting real well. This is my Tojiro Japanese kitchen shears. Give a little shout out, Chef Knives to Go, great website. Those guys, they sell really good quality stuff. They sell these kitchen shears right here. Probably the best kitchen shears I ever used. The Tojiro Japanese stainless steel kitchen shears. What we're going to need to do with this is like we've done all the other ones. We're going to score it high on the shoulder and back towards the opposite side of the gut pocket. We're going to cut it across this way, and then we're going to use the kitchen shears after we snap the space between two vertebrae on the spine to cut along the line. So what we're going to do on this guy, we're going to pull his little pectoral fin back. I can see where his gut pocket is on him because he's real bulgy. He was gorging himself, actually herself. This would be a female. We're going to score the fish. What will end up happening when you score the first few times on the scales, they'll want to like build up on the blade, so you got to kind of have to wipe them off. There you go. Went right through. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I heard the spine snap. We're going to then take our kitchen shears and we're going to come back along this way. Cut. I can feel that first bone, second bone. When we get to the spine, make sure we make our separation so that I'm not just sitting there trying to cut through the spine. It's difficult to do. I don't know how they do this at like professional factories or fish cleaning houses. I think if I was to do this for a living, I'd make like a big paper cutter shear kind of deal that would just come down and just like lop the head off. There's another bone that's real thick in the gut pocket, kind of hooks around the bottom like that. Let me see if I can find it here. Basically, we're going to take that, look at that big old head right there. We're going to take this guy right here, pull out whatever gooey parts are left inside. I don't know what this stuff is, but we don't eat it around here. I'm sure if you're real hungry, you can make some soup. But you see that right there? there's like a really thick, stout bone right there. I mean, it's pretty beefy. I don't know what it's called or what it is, but anyways, there you go, man. Look at that. That's the Big Mac Whopper with cheese right there. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna take the knife. We're gonna come in along the spine. We're gonna come down and out, but we're not going to break the skin where the knife with the knife where the skin meets the fins. We're just going to come in and we're just going to run the tip of the knife right along the edge, and we're going to separate the meat from the spine and basically make a big pocket where we can get our hand through, but the skin is going to stay continuous right along here and right along this back edge. So we're going to take the knife, there's the spine right there, cut around this little ribby gut pocket area. Now again, from our other videos, you're going to want to push down, not at an angle, not at an up angle, down and out as you move the knife. The bones that ride this way will help you guide the knife down and out, but we're not going to break the skin. So we're just working with the meat here, okay? So as I move the knife out, you're going to have like a little bit of spatial recognition of where your knife is in relation to the rest of the stuff. And it might not show up real good, but I can see as I bring the knife down and out where my knife is along the edge. So basically what I just did there is I made a big pocket, okay? I made a big pocket where I can get my hand in there. Now I'm going to come in over the spine and do it the same on the other side. Pushing down, bringing it out. Lift that meat up so I don't just like constantly stab the same meat over and over again. Get the knife in as far as I can. I can kind of see where my knife is going. Okay, now I got like a pocket over here and a pocket over here, but it's still connected in the middle right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the knife and I'm going to kind of ride over that hump. Okay. Now, what I have is basically like a big pocket right here. I'm going to get my hand in there, but I can only get it in about 60% of the way. I need to get this other portion, which we'll get to later, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to get the knife in here. I'm going to come out, bring it to the edge. And yes, fish are slimy, so you kind of have to dig in, grab a hold of what you can. I'm going to come over the spine a little bit. If you're not comfortable with the filleting knife, guys, don't do this at home. You'll lose a finger. You'll go to the hospital. You'll have to get stitches, and it's not worth it. Go to your local seafood restaurant and buy some stuffed flounder. If you think you're confident enough in doing this, be careful, because the only way this works is if your knife is scalpel sharp. If your knife is not sharp, don't even bother. So we're going to come in here, come out to the edge, but not through the skin. Come over here, out to the edge, not through the skin. Okay, so that's a big fish. Okay, there we go. So we're almost to the point where the magic starts to happen. So we got a nice pocket going on this side. I can get my hand pretty much to about right there on both sides. What you're going to do with your kitchen shears is these bones, there's a heavy bone that goes from the center of the spine to about, I don't know, quarter, like from halfway between the center to the edge. It goes from here to there, and then there's a lighter bone that goes from here to there. what you're going to do with the scissors is you're going to come in, you're going to cut this lighter bone. It's jointed. There's like bone, joint, bone, joint, bone. There's bones in these fins. So there's like 1, 2, 3 sets of bones along the vertebrae on both sides. You're going to run the scissors on this this second set of bones right here along those bones. So I'm going to take them, and you're going to cut the bone on both sides. And if you cut the big bones and not the little bones, not a big deal. It'll all still work the same. The only reason we cut the little bones is because they're easier. Now, what you're going to have here is like this little center skeleton that's going to want to start to emerge, okay? And what you're going to basically do is you're going to turn the fish inside out. It's a little tricky, especially if your hands are slimy. You might need a friend to help you, but you're going to just sit here and work at it until you get it started. And once you get it started, I apologize for any shaky camera angle here, but I can't really worry about the camera angle when I'm doing this. Once you get him started, the other thing you can do is grab a hold of this guy right here. There, see, he wants to flip. There we go. Now he's flipping. You start turning them inside out. See how we're turning them inside out? I know that looks like a mess right there, but you'll wait and see. When we're done, we'll have all the bones out of them. It'll be nice and prepped. You kind of push on the tail and hold the meat, because the tail will let you push on it. Okay, so now what we have is like this little mohawk of bones, okay? There's like a mohawk of bones here. I'm going to take the scissors, I'm going to cut this. Actually, I'm going to break it off and then cut it off. Cut this off and get it out of my way, okay? That's just ribs or bones or whatever you want to call them. Now what you're going to do here is this set of bones can be cut out with the scissors. And you're going to want to cut them as close to the junction as you can. You will leave a little row of bones. Yes, you will leave just the little very tip of the bone. But when you go to serve this stuff, those bones will come right out, okay? There's some more stuck in here. We got to continue flipping this inside out. With the smaller flounder, you can normally get the knife all the way in there. That's nothing but bones. So now what we have here is access to cut further, both with the knife and with the scissors. I don't get real greedy on this when you're doing this technique. You will waste a touch more meat than the book method, booking them out. But basically, at this point right here, once you get this, you've got 80% of the meat. You can just start pushing this out like that. He's almost completely inside out. And you can just keep trimming. And the whole goal here is to not break the skin. Now you're not going to get every last bone to the very tip of the tail out. You will have some left at the tail. So when you go to serve this, the tail piece will come out as one bone. The remnants of the fin bones will come out all kind of connected together. No one's going to choke on them. You just got to eat it like a civilized person. You come back in here, you cut these out. You're going to come back over here. You see there's the rest of that little bony mohawk. And if you kind of pull on it, they come loose without really a whole lot of cutting. And definitely, the bigger the flounder, the better you need scissors. The better you need scissors because the bones get pretty stout. Okay, now, there we go. What we have here, guys, is basically a big, floppy, no-bone meat pocket. I don't know, that weighs a lot. I should put that on a scale because that is just nothing but a delicious flounder pocket that you can put, I mean, you could put 2 pounds worth of stuffing in there, okay? You can just fill that thing up. Now, there's a little bit of bone back here. What you would need to do is eat around it, no big deal. But what you have there, again, is a completely pocketed out, deboned from here forward, and these are bones on these fins, but there's no meat there. It's just a little membrane between the bones. There's a little bit of bone left in the tail, and the more meticulous you can, the further you can get back here on the tail. Some guys cut the tail off altogether. I don't like cutting the tail off altogether because it puts a hole in the back of my pocket, you know. I want this to be intact. It also makes for excellent presentation. When you get this cooked up and it's just loaded up and like a cornucopia of seafood is just pouring out the other side, it looks pretty amazing. Most guys will be really blown away by the look. Now, it's your job to make it taste good. Guys, if you're looking for more reviews on fishing techniques, hunting, guns, that kind of stuff, give us a shout over at Modern Pawn. Check us out on Facebook. Subscribe to our channel. And again, thanks for watching.